Well, the mixed emotions, they're always a characteristic of schools opening every time parents bid farewell to their children and vice versa. But of course, one of the other major characteristics of this kind of school opening this term is the joy that parents have with regards to government's position on allowing schools or otherwise instructing schools to accept the Zimbabwe gold currency as a form of payment for school fees. So we have the second term beginning tomorrow, and parents have actually commended government for introducing the ZiG currency, which has made it easier to pay fees. We have invited to the studios the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honourable Torerai Moyo, to clarify the issue of school fees payments and other related matters. Honourable, welcome to this bulletin.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Just to start off, can you clarify on the options available for the payment of school fees?
The Zimbabwean government operates a multi-currency system whereby parents and guardians are allowed to pay school fees and levies in the currency of their choice. In this case, we have a circular number 10 of 2022, which stipulates that government that parents and guardians are supposed to pay fees and levies in local currency. In this case, they are supposed to pay in ZiG, Zimbabwe gold, which is our own currency. But however, there is an option of parents paying also, in addition to ZiG, they are free to pay in whatever currency of their choice, be it US dollars, rands, and so on. But the rate that will be applicable is the interbank rate, which will apply at the point when they are paying school fees.
But then, Minister, there have been concerns by some parents that schools or some schools also are setting conditions for paying school fees. What is the government's position in that regard?
Government's position is that it is illegal for school authorities to set conditions on the payment of school fees. We have heard reports that there are certain schools that are demanding that students must pay exclusively in US dollars. That is against the law. The law stipulates that parents are free to pay in the currency of their own choice. And in this case, they are free to pay in ZiG. It is illegal for school authorities to demand that parents must pay 50% of fees in US dollar and the other 50% in local currency. That is against the law. And as a ministry, we are compiling a list of such schools that are not compliant with our regulations. Our regulations are very clear that it is legal tender. ZiG is part of our legal tender and must ensure that it must be accepted. Failure to accept ZiG, it means it is tantamount to violating the law. And we have penalties in place, a cocktail of measures that we have.
But,
yes.
Yeah, Honourable Minister, some parents might actually face challenges. In the event that they face challenges in payment of school fees in the currency of their choice, what kind of redress do they have from the ministry?
We have established since September last year what I would describe as command centers or rapid response centers. In every district we have rapid response centers, and we have advertised the people that can be contacted from district, provincial office, right up to head office, where people can report. We also have a toll-free number, 317, where parents can phone. And as I said earlier on, we have received reports. Right now, as I'm speaking, we have a list of 15 schools, the headmasters in their schools, who are defying government policy. They are not compliant. And we are going to take 10 measures on those people, according to Statutory Instrument 1 of 2000, where amongst a cocktail of measures, we are able to suspend a headmaster. We can institute some investigations. Parents are free to report those headmasters or school authorities who are defying government policy, they can report them to ZiG, report them to their nearest police station. They can also contact us on the toll-free number so that we can take corrective measures. In fact, what we are planning to do is we are going to name and shame those schools so that we deal decisively with this problem, so that we deal with it once and for all. In fact, we are going to ensure that we charge those headmasters and make sure we publish their names. Naming and shaming is a deterrent way of ensuring that such misdemeanors will not be allowed to happen.
Okay, and now to other issues briefly. Let's look at the new heritage-based curriculum framework that government has begun implementing across the country. How is this new framework envisaged to transform the education sector?
The heritage-based curriculum, I have to start by thanking His Excellency the President for accepting and also approving with his cabinet the new framework. It is aligned to the national vision of His Excellency the President, Vision 2030, which will be realized through the National Development Strategy 1. In fact, what we are planning to do is, as a ministry, we want to inculcate values and skills of ensuring that we transform the education system in Zimbabwe so that learners are able to be job creators, not job seekers. The type of education that we want is an education where learners are able to identify societal challenges. They do research on those challenges and proffer solutions. And in the process, they look at problems in their homes, in their villages, in their districts, in their provinces. They go an extra mile in doing what I would say innovation. In fact, we are planning to ensure that we have laboratories from in primary schools, innovation hubs in secondary schools, so that those learners are able to produce goods and services that we want. So the type of student that we want must be suitable, must be fit for the 21st century. And we are also going to digitalize our education so that learners have access to gadgets, digital technology from ECD right up to upper sixth form.
Honourable Minister, that's quite a lot that your ministry and perhaps the whole government is seized with. But key to that also is the issue of human resources, teachers. And in relation to pupils, we have what we call the teacher-pupil ratio. What is the recommended teacher-to-pupil ratio? And in that regard, where do we stand as a nation?
The recommended teacher-pupil ratio at ECD is 1:20. From grade 1 to grade 7, it's a 1:33. From Form 1 to Form 2, it's 1:33. Form 3 to Form 4 is 1:30. Then Form 5 and 6 is 1:20. For practical subjects, it's 1:100. So I want to commend the government for all the efforts of reducing teacher-pupil ratio through deployment of teachers. So we are recruiting teachers. Every term we recruit teachers, and I want to commend His Excellency the President for that. Just last term, we recruited 2,000 teachers. And this term, we have recruited 2,600 teachers. In the third term, we are also going to recruit another 2,000 teachers to bring a total of 6,600 teachers. And in the process, that is going to reduce the teacher-pupil ratio. So we are able to attain an ideal situation in the classroom.
Are you working with the private sector, those in private colleges, in terms of that aspect of the teacher-to-pupil ratio, or is just government schools?
When you talk of private schools, there are private schools that we have regulated, not those so-called private schools, those that are operating illegally, those who present in cabinet soon and who close those ones, those that are not registered. So as ministry, we are the regulator of all schools, public and private schools. And they are supposed to comply with the expectations of the ministry. So That's the same principle which should apply also in private schools.
Thank you so much.
But we cannot control what happens in the unregistered schools. So we are going to close them if Cabinet approves.
Honourable Minister, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very
That's
much.
Honourable Torerai Moyo, clarifying government's position with regards to schools having to accept the Zimbabwe gold currency as a form of payment for school fees across the country.